will we still hear of people losing their lives? Will properties be lost and all that? Here we are hearing of them again. And we're being given assurances as to what is going to be done about it to ensure that it doesn't happen again. But do you believe in it? Do you trust that come 2019, we'll not be singing the same song or dancing to the same tune? These are the two key issues we want to talk about here on Love 99.5. Now, you can log on to Facebook, search for the Diaries post, and be part of our conversation. But before we delve into those two issues, in Tree, it says, idea. So, I'd like to spend some 5 minutes or so to talk to this very wonderful gentleman who has heard, has seen, has observed, has noticed something good here at Multimedia, and based on that intends to award this special person. Here at Multimedia, we refer to her as Mama Efe, Mama One we call her. And come the 14th of January 2018 at 5 p.m. at the Golden Tulip, she'll be giving some very special recognition and award. Now, this has been put together by Prince Hampel World Outreach in conjunction with Wisdom for Winning. And the man who is behind it all is right here with me in the studios of Love 99.5. Hi, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Well, I'm told that you're from London, I'm told.
I'm from Ghana.
I know you're from Ghana,
yeah.
But you're based in London?
Yes, sir.
You're based in London. Okay, so good to have you with us in the studios of Love 99.5. Tell us a bit about this awards night. First of all, what would you say gave birth to it?
This award is coming from Wisdom for Winning. And Wisdom for Winning is where something that's been established in the United Kingdom, United States, and we've started one here in Ghana.
Okay.
For the past 2 years now, because the last year we did an award.
Okay.
In a Holiday Inn. We do it every month, once in a month, at a Holiday Inn in Accra.
Okay.
We give award to Ajinasare, Mensa Otabel, Joyce Sai, and the Champion Divine Clinic, and then what was that? Mensa Otabel.
So you've been giving awards to people.
To people that we see them as they're doing something, they're touching people's life. They're picking up people from the ground and help them to grow.
So in reference to Mama Efe, whom you intend to award on the 15th of January, if the
14th of January,
if the date is right, what have you noticed about Mama Efe and what she does on radio that has warranted or pushed you to decide to give her some award or recognition?
It's not my decision.
Okay.
We have a board of directors and trustees that meet.
Okay.
But what happened here is Mama Efe, I met her probably about 12 years ago when I came to Ghana to do a meeting. And she was doing a media like this about 12 years ago or something. And then she was pretty good. And so when I came back and they had a meeting, and they called her name, I said, oh, okay, yeah, I think I know her, blah, 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 blah. And the things that she's been doing to support the women, helping them to be able to see who they are and so forth and so forth. She deserved to be honored and say, are you equal to what he's doing for the media?
I will not say you are wrong. You're very right. Here,
thank you very much.
Here at Love FM, we call her, or Multimedia in Kumasi, we refer to her as Mama One.
Number one.
Mama One.
Oh, Mama One.
Mama One.
Wow.
Because she's our mother. But I know she's listening here. This award you're going to give to her on the 14th of January, I mean, is there cash attached to it? Let me percentage.
No, there's no cash attached to it.
It's cash in Kangwon. But the recognition in itself, the award itself, is bigger than cash. And Mama Efe, I know her too, she doesn't need any cash. She just needs more blessings and she needs more grace to be able to continue to do what she does. So on the 14th.
On the 14th at Golden Tulip, 5, starting from 5 p.m.
Is it open to the general public?
It's open to general public, and other people also are going to be on it too. The most Reverend Yinka Safo.
Oh, okay, he's a good friend as well.
He's a good man. I've known him for years and things like that.
Yeah,
and so he's going to receive an award also. And then there's another gentleman here in Kumasi. They call him Untumi or something.
Chema Untumi.
Yeah, Siako.
Chema Untumi.
Yeah, also he's going to get 2, and then other people. But Doris Mark Brown,
Nana
Brown also will be there to receive. So it's not only Mama Effie, but Mama Effie one, I love it.
Okay, we all love it.
Yeah.
And so to you, Mama Effie, I know you're doing a listening. Good afternoon to you, and congratulations in advance.
Yeah.
We pray that the Lord will give you more grace, more health, more wisdom to continue to do what it is that you do. All right. But before you take leave of us, what would you want to say to Mama Effie? She's listening. What would you want to say to her?
I would like to say to Mama Effie, congratulations, Aiko. Nyamisha Papa for the good work you're doing for this country, and also say hello to your husband. I remember 12 years ago when my husband gave me what was it, Agbaja or something, that white dress. Okay. Beautiful one, and I always say thank you, Agbada. Yeah, but I can't fit in now because of this. So I've told Mama Effie to replace it.
She will replace it, definitely. She will replace it. So
thank you so much.
For people who are living different kinds of lives here in Ghana, I mean, in Kumasi for that matter, who are touching lives and, they are listening right now, what would you want to say to them? Because there are times when you're doing things you think that nobody observes or watches or sees it. But I'm sure that you've noticed what Mama Effie has been doing over the past years, and she is going to be awarded on the 14th. What would you want to say to other people out there?
What I would say to the other people is, in this world, I keep saying in every pulpit that I stand on, I say that if you are
okay.
If you're not doing anything, you're not getting anything.
Yeah.
What you do determine what you get.
Yeah.
And whatever you are doing now, today might not be your day to be awarded, but you never know. Your awarding time also will show up. So do it very well with your wholeheartedly. But I believe
I'm doing mine with my
I know. Since I've been here, I know how you're doing the work.
And so you give me an award too. I'm not campaigning for it. I'm not bidding for it. Thank you very much for being here.
Bless you.
And thank you very much for recognizing.
Bless you.
Thank you very much also for recognizing the work Mama Effie does, and we appreciate it.
I don't think that you can cut me out of this conversation and let him leave. I don't want him to listen while he's on the way. He should sit here and also hear me small. You can't cut me out. You know I have a relationship with Mama Effie, and you can't just cut me out like that. This one,
I haven't even said good afternoon.
Wow. No, he hasn't.
I haven't even welcomed you.
That's why I said I have to be rude. I don't want him to leave.
She's a good lady though.
She is. Mama Effie is my partner. We do a lot of work together. What you have said on air is mainly to do with her media work, but I tell you, I work with her behind the scenes, outside the media. We are picking underprivileged children and giving them better opportunities. She's doing wonderful jobs with the prison inmates, especially the females. So many things. This just ended Christmas. Wow. We did some two programs together. She has her own with multimedia called Inshirabodo. She joins me for Chickenless Children at Christmas. And we are also raising funds. Look, she's just fantastic. I have given her an award, of course, without cash. I've elevated her to PNO General. So that's the end point of PNO. Okay. Ever since I've been working with her, she's worked with me like a nurse. PNO is Principal Nursing Officer. Please, if she's listening, let me do my honors.
So thank you.
God bless you.
Bless you, love you. Bless you too. So that is the voice of Dr. ERNEST KWARKO. He's a gynecologist at the Confirmatory Teaching Hospital and also
public
interest advocate. And here we are in the studios to have a conversation. Doc, officially, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, David. It's always a pleasure to be on Love 99.5 on the diary and with you.
Thank you very much for your presence and of course for your time. Now Frank Dinyansa is quite young and he is also into the real estate business or industry. Frank, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Dave.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good by God's grace. Yourself?
I am well.
Sure,
I am well. And you know what, I have a fight to pick up with Frank Dinyansa. So you know what, let me go on a quick commercial break and punch him a bit, and when we return we delve into our conversations. Thank you very much for tuning into Love 99.5. We're talking about two key issues. One has to do with the Fulani menace or the Fulani herdsmen and indigents at Agogo, and what we can do about it. What we're asking is, it's been running for years. From what you have heard, from what you've followed, do you think that indeed we have an end on sight? Do you think that we can really fix this problem once and for all? The other issue has to do with the name that has been, making waves on the social media since late afternoon yesterday, when the president mentioned that he would love Martin Amidu to occupy that office of special prosecutor. What do you make of it? Has the president chosen right? And aside from that, if Parliament gives a nod, what are your expectations of Martin Amidu? We'll be right back. Please don't go away.
Oh, this gate. Hey, Mr. Techi, please come and help me open my gate, I beg you. What is wrong with this gate? You know, this is the second time I've changed this gate after the thieves broke into my shop 2 months ago. When I open it, it always gets stuck in the middle here. I don't know why. I'm even tired of it. Papako, I've always been telling you, never compromise on quality. You see, I've been using my roller shutter gate for the past 10 years, and I have never had any problems with it because I got it from Donima Steel Complex. Donima Steel Complex provides quality roller shutter gates at affordable prices. They are of high quality and impossible to break in. That's not all. They have the manual and automatic gate systems, which are ideal for warehouses, domestic stores, and garages. And they are installed by professionals without any extra charges. Had I known. Don't had I known, yeah. Locate Donima Steel Complex at Asafo, YF Junction, near the Ghana Revenue Authority office, or call 0244-126-625. Donima Steel Complex, home of tropical products.
For the past 12 years, New Generation Investment Services Limited, a leading investment banking firm, has guided thousands of institutions and retail investors to make millions in secured portfolio investments. New Generation Investment Services Limited is licensed by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the National Pension Regulatory Authority. We offer Treasury Bill Plus fixtures for products such as fixed deposits, premium investments, NGI's Child Care Investment, and Diamond Plus investment plans, as well as manages Tier 2 and Tier 3 pension funds. NGI's Limited also manages the Enidaso Mutual Fund. Talk to our seasoned investment advisors now and we will structure an investment portfolio for you. Visit us at first floor Kokobo Jubilee House, Adum Kumasi, and second floor Abosoma Kotre House near Cocoa House, Sunyani, or our website www.ngis-group.com. Call us in Kumasi on 03220-91608 or in Sunyani on 0352-197-482. New Generation Investment Services Limited, achieving excellent returns on your investment.
The sun is so bright and I'm feeling so dry. I need something to quench all my thirst. Something so pure and so healthy. Bella for new life every day. Your new generation mineral water. Bella you give me new life every day.
Bella mineral water, your new generation mineral water. Look out for the elegant red label.
Give me new life every day. Bella.
You are great, yes, you are.
The Word of God is a strong foundation, a rock that keeps us standing through the storms of life and exposes our innermost thoughts and desires. Join the International Central Gospel Church Trinity Temple, Kwadaso, every Sunday from 8 to 10:30 a.m. as we help you discover your purpose through life-transforming messages. Remember, the proof of a desire is in its pursuit. Don't miss our weekly services on Wednesdays and Fridays from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Your life will never be the same.
Say you are great. Say you are great. Everything, yeah.
The great thing about life is that we are all different and we are free to enjoy life's different flavors everywhere. Under the blazing sun or during a fun night out with a crew, it doesn't matter, because at that moment all you need to do is reach for a Club Mineral to turn up the sweet, bitter, bubbly, spicy or tangy flavor. Whether Club Orange, Club Cola, Club Muscatella, Club Soda or Club Tonic, there's a flavor for everyone. Turn up the flavor. Club Minerals, there's a flavor for everyone.
All right, so we're back and just about to delve into our very first conversation for the afternoon. Like I mentioned, we have two issues we intend to talk about. One has to do with a name that has made waves on social media and, of course, traditional media since late afternoon yesterday, Martin Amidu. The president mentioned him as the one he would like to occupy that office as the very first special prosecutor. Many have said a lot of things about him, even on social media, a lot of jokes, that, for example, that upon hearing the name mentioned by the president, Alfred Agushiwoyome sent a friend request on Facebook to Martin Amidu, and he declined to accept him as a friend. People said, well, we need to get people like carpenters and masons to go and expand prisons. Then someone says, well, I spotted Alfreda, but she was in a bus being conveyed to prison and all that. We shall be talking about that and more. But let me start off with you, Dr. KWARKO. And I've been joined by my brother. I'm talking about ERASTUS Asari Donko. Always special to me. And he's right here. ERASTUS, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, David.
How has your day been? Good?
Good.
Okay, good to hear. Good to hear. Good to hear. All right, so let me throw the very first question to you, Dr. KWARKO. Right choice, wrong choice? What do you make of the choice by the president?
Yes, David, good afternoon once again to your listeners. And let me start by saying that Martin Amidou has had, if you like, many elevations, appointments, especially in government.
Okay. Now, once you've gone there, if I may plead with you, let me present to our listeners something little about Martin. Okay. Now, Martin ABK Amidou is a Ghanaian politician. He was the Attorney General and Minister of Justice from January 2011 till January 2012. He is a man who introduced a word that has become very popular in Ghana, Gangantuan, into the lexicon of Ghanaian politics when he opened the can of worms about the Woyome scandal, which was said to be the worst financial scandal in Ghana's fiscal history at the time. Now, on the 11th of January 2018, Martin ABK Amidou was named by the President of Ghana as the Special Prosecutor for the newly created Office of the Special Prosecutor. Now, Amidou served as the Deputy Attorney General for about the last 4 years of the Provisional National Defense Council as a PNDC military government. Amidou is a member of the National Democratic Congress, that's the NDC, after civilian rule was established in the Fourth Republic in January 1993. He continued to serve in the government of Jerry Rawlings as Deputy Attorney General. This he did for both terms lasting 8 years until January 2001. In the December 2000 presidential elections, he stood as the running mate of John Atta Mills. They both, however, lost to President John Kufuor that very year. Now, in January 2010, following a cabinet reshuffle, President Mills replaced Cletus Avoka with Amidou as the Minister for Interior. As Amidou is a Busa, some people raise questions as to his neutrality in dealing with the Boko conflict. He, however, went successfully through vetting by the Parliament of Ghana and assumed his post. Following the second major cabinet reshuffle by President Mills, Amidou became the Attorney General and Minister for Justice of Ghana. Removal from office, Martin Amidou was relieved of his post on Thursday, January 19, 2012 by President John Evans Atta Mills, and circumstances described by aides as his misconduct at a meeting chaired by the president. And I can go on and on and on and on. So at least this is a brief background as to who the president has faith and confidence in to man that special prosecutor's office.
Thank you very much,
So
David.
please go from there.
Thank you. Because what you've just done enhances what I'm going to say. That most of the elevations and appointments, if you like, were tied to politics and tied to, if you like, physical boundarying. This one, I like to contend that this is one of the appointments or nominations. It's not been approved yet, but I trust it will be. Yeah. This is one that I like to ascribe to his personal qualities. Somebody will say his personal person, his personality, and his own effort, and trying to secure and protect the interests of the public. I want to congratulate him on that score. That I think it's a recognition of his own effort to act in the interest of the public. You know, public interest advocacy is not easy. Myself, I can attest to that. You know, you are left in the cold. You know, and this is, you see, you mentioned citizen vigilante.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, even if he sounds overindulgent, I'd like to point out something. He actually went to court with his own private resources to try and secure something for the state, for which the state itself has initiated and sustained. Master, how else do you want to say this? So this is a recognition for his personal contribution. I'm very excited about this, and I congratulate him on that score. Now let me come to the nomination and, you know, if you like, subsequent appointment that will happen anyway. I think whichever way you look at it, it's historic. is to go down in history. The very first independent prosecutor, and the circumstances under which he has been appointed has already made history. It's already history. Particularly because from the anti-corruption point of view, he is from, if you like, an opposing party. And then the party in government has considered that he is worthy enough to be. Whichever way you argue, it's historic. Now let me come to the international image that Ghana gets from this. It enhances our international image, especially in the anti-corruption fight. If our democracy is developing such that, it doesn't matter how you look at it, an incumbent government whose party is ideologically opposed to Martin Amidu's party has taken such a risk, and I call it risk underlined, to appoint him. It enhances our international image. It tells one story, that we are developing democratic maturity and tolerance level is deepening. And I suspect that the president, Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, yes, he's trying to do his best to improve our democracy, but he also wants to make history. I won't shy away from contending that some of the decisions that he is making, he also wants to make history. We sat in this studio here with my brother Frank Dinyansa, and he was congratulating him on, inviting the other political parties to try and seek some kind of consensus before the celebration of the 25th anniversary of the Fourth Republic. And then I recall some of the humorous comments he made with the Sedun Ketia. He said that a Sedun Ketia and a tie, and then Ayarikov this time around on cough on me. Whichever way you look at it, tolerance is gradually building. I used to belong to a group called Friendship Force. One of the founders was Mrs. Carter, Jimmy Carter's wife, and our slogan was that in friendship, a word of friends is a word of peace. If we are friends, it takes a lot of effort to take cudgels against each other. And that kind of tolerance is gradually growing. This one, the international image alone. Now, when it comes to public expectation,
we'll talk about the public expectations once the parliament gives the nod and all.
Yeah, okay. And then you want me to go to okay. I'll show the last two. But I will just say that before we come to the real public expectation, people, in spite of everything all I've said, we should be measured. This is the first time we are trying it. We should be measured in our expectation.
Surprised at the name mentioned yesterday by the president, Frank?
Dave, let me greet listeners. Not really, because I saw before the name was mentioned, there were some speculations about people were just joking about it by some names that might pop up, and his name was in there. That the opposition parties and other people would reject any name that the president mentions, and Martin's name was in. Let me first of all congratulate him and say that for me it is the work that is most important. And some of us are arguing from a different angle, because no matter how you look at it, he's going to work under the Attorney General. And that is where the hindrance is. Now, the Right to Information Bill has not been approved by Parliament, has not been signed by the President. It means that there's going to be a hindrance. The Attorney General can choose to hide certain information from him, which he has to probably, he would have to probably bring that thing in him. Like former President May said, he made some pronouncements at a cabinet meeting which he had to work out. And that is what he is noted for. If he doesn't agree with you, you might force him to come out for him to tell you in your face. And that is what they are going to be facing. And I think that is good for us. Because from where he is coming from, if he's going to put the AGs on their toes, then that is fine.
Okay.
And that is what some of us are looking for. Because in an attempt to fight corruption, we have the Whistleblowers Act, which has been passed into law. We have the Special Prosecutor, and there's one missing. The other leg that is missing is the Right to Information Bill.
We'll talk more. I just wanted to have initial comments from you.
Sure.
Erastus, help me here. Some members of the NDC like Kofi Adams and co have made mention of the fact that in as much as they see, the man to be somebody who has integrity, and his integrity cannot be questioned and all that, those who have a bit of fear as to what he may do to, let's say, members of the NDC. Do you think that their concerns are justified?
Well, good afternoon. And let me say I have my own set of questions about what has happened. It's not surprising to me. In fact, I kept saying to my colleagues in the newsroom that I think he's the right person for the job.
So you're happy?
Yeah, but happy and again cautious.
Cautious optimism.
Yeah. And I have these questions. And before I come to your the fear, seeming fear that the NDC is expressing, is it genuine? Is it born out of an unknown fear? We don't know. But one of the main questions I'm asking, where does his interest lie? I mean, Martin Amidu, where does his interest lie?
It should be Ghana first.
All this while I've been monitoring him very well, and the things he has been saying and the kind of agenda that he champions. Well, the NDC says they've not heard him speak much about issues that have cropped up in this particular administration, where it has gone to international levels, scandals. Yes, I was expecting something from him in that direction. He didn't. I wasn't surprised, because this man, from the trajectory he has taken, seems to be interested in certain key issues that bother him a lot, and he sees those issues as gargantuan in nature, more than what you are referring to at the moment. The Woyome scandal. This is a huge thing. 51.8 million Ghana cedis,
up to 52 million.
The old Ghana cedis, the new Ghana cedis. This is huge. And so he thinks that should preoccupy his attention at the moment. Well, the other thing is about other issues he has been talking about, even with this same bill that brings him to key concerns. He raised key concerns, and I articulated them in one of his reports, which tells you the kind of person he's made of. Again, the MPP rode on his vigilantism to power. So per his appointment, I'm not surprised.
And when you say that, I agree with you to a large extent, because some members of the NDC feel that he was campaigning in quotes for
this was a time
because some of the things he said will make the NDC popular.
Yeah, this was a time when we were all talking about corruption. And not just corruption, perceived corruption, and we could feel it at that particular time. And so it was topical, and people were talking about it. For a man to champion an agenda at that particular moment, people saw him as a hero. In
fact, citizen vigilante, it says it all.
Citizen
and so,
but again, are you bothered about the fact that, like you put it, some of the things that maybe he hasn't touched on in terms of this administration, maybe you say they might not be as big as that of women. Do you think that it is okay for him to have kept quiet till now, or you think that based on what he has made himself to be known for, he should be speaking to all these issues?
That is why I'm saying that I have monitored him, and I think that he has a set of issues that were on his mind at that particular moment. And I think
I agree. But if I be a little mischievous, and here just a little mischief, is it also not that, well, maybe he had, because he had to be discussed with him for him to agree to do it. These days you don't do it just in a day.
No, of course.
And then if you are waiting, Charlie, to be named, for you to come and really work for the nation, you really start springing out some this thing that may make people consider. Just mischief.
No, if you go that way, doesn't it then play on his credibility and integrity?
No, I doubt.
No, I doubt it very much. Well, I think I have to cite myself as an example. If I think that I need to get something to work in the larger interest, I may keep cool until I get it.
And then you
act in the broader interest.
Well, I beg to differ on this one. I
just mischief that I threw in.
And so when you said that you were being mischievous, I understand where you're coming from. But I think that this is a man who has a certain character, and he has been consistent with that character for a long time. He speaks his mind, and he's not afraid of people.
That's the point.
He's not afraid of you. He will speak his mind, and he has wrote. When he writes, he goes in depth into the issues, get to the bottom, gives you the legal ramifications and all that, the legal angles, and he tells you what is wrong and what is not wrong. In doing that, he is very specific and he's not afraid of anybody. But my question is, what does the NPP stand to gain from him? And here I pen down some few things. Is it political inclusion or unleashing the NDC wild dog on his political enemies? And hoping that the fear of him will scare off NPP appointees.
Legitimate questions. But I would like to think that perhaps it's not more of the NPP as a party. I like to look into the crystal ball and say it's more of the inkling of the president, gauging the mood.
Well, I'm asking.
Yeah, legitimate question.
But let's move on. Let me address my question for me. Genuine concern from the NDC, which hunting might come up.
In addressing that, why would you cry wolf when indeed there is none? What are you afraid of? Because I know that the police work to fight crime. Have they been to your house today?
No, they haven't.
Dr. KWARKO, have they been to your office?
No, I'm a law-abiding citizen, so I guess not.
Were you following today?
No.
Why will the police today, they have not entered any of your houses, they've been into other people's houses today? Why? Are they witch hunting them? So if you have nothing to hide, why fear? That's my point. But I think their fear is genuine when you look at it politically. This is somebody who has been with us from the scratch, and he's one of the founding fathers, in quote. He's a true born and
he's a die in the wool.
Die in the wool. He knows your ins and outs. And so the politicians amongst us, the political animals, Frank will understand what that means. Politics in Ghana is dirty to some extent. He's been with us in the trenches. He knows where we went. He knows the nooks and crannies where we are coming from, where we've been. What do you say that in Ghana?
Police continue.
It's come a long way.
Or something like that.
So why won't you be afraid of such a person holding such a powerful office with the power to prosecute?
Okay.
So if I need information, I know where to go. Yeah. I know where to dig. So the fear that is being expressed by the NDC is genuine.
Okay.
Looking at it politically.
Frank, yeah, Dave, let me come in here. Like, just as ERASTUS was saying, you know, he made certain comments about this particular office he has been named for, okay, saying that there was duplication, saying that within the Attorney General's division there was I think the Director for Public Prosecutions. So I was okay with he being there, so that he's going to face those duplication he mentioned head on and see how it will be corrected within the office of the Attorney General. So he's the best person because he knows that there would be, supposedly people crisscrossing his line. So if he is put there, then he would know how to streamline or probably make the path straight, so that his focus will be on issues that perceived would be of national interest and not his personal interest. That is one. Let's not also forget that he's been put to test. A good critic who has always been attacking certain issues from different angles, especially with the creation of this office, saying that we're going to be burden the public purse. We don't know whether when he takes it, he's going to say he's going to do it for free. We don't know. He's not even saying, he hasn't even gone there yet. So let's wait. Once there's an approval from Parliament, which I also have issues with, because I know that those on the majority side will be, some of them, sleeping over it from yesterday, today, till the day that he would appear, or probably the name will come before Parliament. Ghana, I'm telling you, because some of them would really rethink and say that, are we really sure that when we push him, he's going to be for or against?
Is that not too late?
Too late? No, he's here to face Parliament, and I mean the Parliament is a whip system.
I'm seeing it means that a Parliament that's going to push him. They have no option.
In this case, it's not about two-thirds majority. It's simple majority.
Good. So it means that whether you go or not, no matter the number of people present, he's going to come. And I have also seen from the side of the NDC, there's been a sharp division. You remember when you called me, I told you that it's not all of them who are against it.
No, not at
Probably those who are also for it have a different agenda, like Honorable Fuseni, former Lands and Forestry Minister, Minister Fuseni. Okay, he's been nodding, and he believes that he's a good person to take that office up. So within the NDC, they know those who would be culpable in case he's supposed to start work today.
Let's not lose sight of the fact that there were NDC people who were not happy with some things that went on
during their regime. That's a fact.
And those people are pushing for somebody who will do this kind of job very, very well. It so happened as well as in after Kufuor's regime. There were people within the NPP who were not happy with certain things that happened within the administration, i.e. Ghana 50 and all that. And they wanted certain key people prosecuted. So we are looking at interest from both sides.
Would you believe that currently, even with his name popping up, some of the MPPs are not happy? But that is the point. And that is why I am happy.
It depends on what you are talking about. Knowing him for who he is.
Yes.
Do you think that he would have what it takes to be able to prosecute even people in the MPP administration, even in the past if they've done some wrong?
Dave, that is why I'm saying that now he's going to work under the umbrella of the Attorney General. It is the issues that interest the Attorney General that he is going to be forced to present.
If I may express a slightly contrary opinion, I think this is a point of law.
Okay.
And he's been given specific duties as issues dealing with corruption. You know, the Attorney General, it's mandated by the Constitution or the law to initiate prosecutions and discontinue felony prosecution.
Yes.
Yeah, that's power still she holds. I'm using she because the current holder is a female.
Yeah.
And it's this one that has been given the OSP, it's a delegated power around corruption. Now, the other criminal matters, the Attorney General's office will still go ahead and prosecute on behalf of government.
Yes.
So it's a delegated duty. That it is still under her umbrella, yes. And that has a law been provided in such a way that it gives somewhat independence to the OSP, yes.
But now it is
fair. It is fair for us to try. I agree with you when you say that. Let's try it first. That's why I say we should be cautious. Let's try it first. You see, I'm also excited that he's not going to work alone. He's going to work with the board and a deputy. I hear a name has come up. Yes, and so far the commentary I've heard on both sides of the divide, they seem to have some confidence in her. Then there's this, my friend, Daniel Domelevo, who is on the board. Is it the Auditor General? I'm excited about that one too. Don't forget that he too was appointed by the SY regime. And let us not kid ourselves. Such political appointments as the Attorney General, it takes a lot of consideration to put you there.
Oh, yes.
But that man has performed for me ever since he's had the office. At the point, people were saying that he was, I think he was in Tanzania or something, he was not going to come back for the post. Then he came back and said, I'm here, and I want to work. And I followed him a bit. And in public interest, I think that there are exciting times ahead. We have to be measured in our expectation. But, you see, Frank expressed some, you know, if you like, some pessimism, and ERASTUS too has been very clever with some of the questions he's raised. Let us watch and test the waters. But I think that our democracy is gradually taking a turn. For whatever reason the president made this appointment, I think history is going to be the better judge, because there are things going to flow from it. You know, these people I've mentioned, the deputy, the board that Daniel Domelevo is on, and he, Martin Amido himself, I think that Frank said the MPP may not be sure. Whether the NDC or MPP, nobody should be assured about anything. Look, I have said time without number. They are there to protect public interest. Then I'm for it. Corruption is the number one thing that mitigates against our development in Ghana here. Our lives and every public business that we do is infested with corruption. So this remit, I want to look at it with some cautious optimism. Sure. Let the citizen, let us also support.
Well, a very quick one.
Let me hear you from
what Dr. KWARKO said. Article 88, subsection 3 and 4 of the 1992 Constitution states clearly, okay, no other office apart from that of the Attorney General will be responsible for prosecutions.
Undoubtedly.
Good.
Undoubtedly.
So in this case, who pushes for certain perceived corrupt cases to be solved or to be handled?
The Act also said that the LI.
That is the point. So with the new appointment, have we done this?
But in the bill,
no, the LI says that complaints when you receive, you can receive complaints from the NDC, the MPP, from lay public like us,
from whoever. Sure.
Yes, and then once it's around corruption, especially corruption with public officers. Yes, so then it's a lot more defined. But I agree that this is a delegated function, and I think even Martin Yamidi's own criticism and the criticism from the minority in Parliament made them retool
that's what I'm saying.
There are some amendments to make it a little more, flexible. So
I wouldn't be able to.
Do you foresee any interference whatsoever going forward in this office that has been created?
Yeah, there will be.
But we're talking about independent, and we don't want these things to happen.
No, there will be.
So how do we ensure that it doesn't happen?
Dr. KWARKO wants to stay cautious, tread cautiously. So he says there could be. I say there will be. I'm
based on what?
Well, there could be. Here I'm using yours. I'm looking at financing. Such an office needs resources, and so if you are stifled in terms of resources,
legitimate,
which happens.
So
you see, the president is one person, but he is not the only person who is ruling Ghana. I always say this and people don't like it. There are financiers of a political party that pushed you to power. People who have followed you for 3 elections. You lost, you lose, you come back, you lose, you come back. It takes more money and resources to conduct elections. So these are people, financiers, who will be directing your steps and be making demands and ensuring that you fulfill them. There are advisors. So he doesn't just sit there and take decisions.
He works with the board and the deputies.
I'm
not too afraid.
I'm looking at
resourcing the office.
I'm looking at
it could be a source of concern.
Vested interest. As time goes on, in Ghana here, when people want to twist the law in their favor is when they are hardly bitten, and now they are so injured, and because it's them, we must twist the law to let them give a loophole for them to escape.
But if that's the case,
I'm looking at a point where resources might not be coming, or people will put impediments or try to advise that as for this case, the manenko or we the jano.
But will that say the purpose of the office created?
But the sort of person. But the sort of
ARSTUS is saying,
yes, that's what I
like the angle that you are coming from.
From the sort of person I see
his persona,
Dr. Mr. Hamidu to be,
that would.
This is a person who will not budge to such things, and he has demonstrated that. With time,
I have high optimism in that direction as well.
And so I know that though there will be challenges, there will be impediments, but I believe strongly, unless the man changes along the line.
David,
is there a small track record? Yes, there is.
David,
yes, there's a small track record. When his party was in government, and he tried to go after Alfred Kofi Agbeshi-Woyome, I think he had a lot of impediments. To the extent that he operated his private funds.
Yeah.
I am encouraged.
Yes.
The public at a point will have to support him, even if the resources are not coming. We have to speak. That's why we are here. Public
but if you get to know of it, then you can speak to it.
No, but
I know Martin will come out and say,
if you are not getting the resources,
he will come out and say,
you know about it.
He will talk about it. He will come out and say, what is happening? We're not hearing anything.
I wanted to say this. At the helm of affairs, and behind this whole thing we are talking about is a Ghanaian taxpayer.
Yeah, sure.
And we are observing keenly with representation from the media, which is very vibrant at the moment. And so, with that expectation, I know very well that the man, knowing that his reputation is at stake, And one, if he doesn't communicate to the people who are observing him at the moment, that's the public, then he will be in trouble. And he will continue speaking.
A quick one. Yeah. You see, we are talking about the office. In this case, we are happy because the persona, qualifies extensively, like what ERASTUS was saying. Assuming he is not there anymore, he has a tenure.
7 years.
And another person comes, and the office or his persona does not suit what we want, what we do. That is why some of us were saying that let us separate the office of the Attorney General from the Ministry of Justice. In that case, this special prosecutor will just be solely the head of the Attorney General Department.
That's a valid point. It has been made.
You understand? We have said this. There should have been an amendment in the Constitution so that he would be solely independent.
So now
I follow the debate. Yes, on the back of the Attorney General, and that is where the interference comes in.
I follow the debate in the ramp up to this. You see, I see that what is happening is partly good and also can also be a problem.
Sure.
You see, there's a stampede for this OSP to be created, and in a way, it's good. Like the SHS started and then deal with some of the problems along the line.
That's why I said he is the best person.
So you know what?
He knows the challenge.
I think that it is not gone. The time that they have taken to amend the Constitution and all that would have lost some time. So this is a compromise arrangement. I am of the opinion that let's operate it, and let us not forget that. Listen, here he has a number of things going in his favor. He is backed by an act of parliament. And it has legislative instruments to help me. As we operate and there are difficulties, we can always put in allies, not the parent act. Legislative is meant to be able to do its work within the framework of the act, so we can better things. The other thing is that Martin Hamidou is not the one who is going to jail people. Sure. He is going to prosecute an agenda. Sure. He's going to prosecute. From what we hear of some of the issues, here, my listeners should forgive me, I'm going to cite a direct example. When he was Attorney General, and then he allegedly wanted to prosecute the Wyoming matter. We are told that he had impediments in the way. At the end of the day, we are told he was sacked because of his subordination to President Mills. May his soul rest in peace. But the substantive issue he wanted to pursue was that he didn't want there to be what we call consent judgment for Alfred Wyoming to just take the money. He wanted to go to court and defend it on behalf of the state. Do you get? So I have some optimism that backed by the LI and the security of tenure of 7 years, he shouldn't fear no who. And anybody that comes shouldn't fear who. You go and then you go and get correct evidence. And go to the proper procedure so that you don't let people off the hook. Once it gets to the court, the justice will deliver.
I don't want us to go with Frank's fear that if this man should change, there should be another person. Why can't that person be of such integrity? Why not?
Because the office might not be what we are saying to protect him. You understand?
Why can't we?
Because of this persona.
What is that would have modified a lot of the airlines. But we are saying that we don't have. And I agree with you that we can also get somebody casting his money. We can also get somebody casting his money.
If somebody says president says good. Precedents there.
Yeah.
Somebody comes.
You have to live by it.
Thank you very much.
Who are you not to succeed?
Thank you very much. But one other question
is Frank saying that if Frank is put in that chair tomorrow, you can't be like Martin.
But Frank,
that's a sidebar. David, you asked me a question.
Yeah, so my question to Frank is this: the fact that many Ghanaians have been very expectant of this very office as to who was going to occupy it. Now we know who the president has in mind. It's just for Parliament to come and do its job, and then the person assumes office. Question to you is this: for people who work in public offices, what should you say to them? Because we're trying to fight corruption, we're trying to combat corruption. Once we have the office set, once we have somebody manning that very office, what should people start thinking? What should be their behavior as they work in those public offices?
I think, like Ghanaians expect from them, the system should work.
But would it?
It has to work. You see, we have all the laws in Ghana, we've been saying from time immemorial, but the civil servants choose to do things on their own. And they just ignore or sideline the law and just take monies anyhow. And once he's now coming, it should tell them that now we have a president who is serious to tackle corruption, just hold it by the neck and cut it off. So if you're a public servant, you're a civil servant, you are serving the nation, every CD counts. Any money that comes into your, legitimately into your office has to be accounted for. It is accountability that Ghanaians want. So those are the DVLAs, those are the lands commissions, those are the customs. Your ass has to be shaking by now.
I have a case, and I will want to, with the help of some lawyers, and if lawyers are interested, they should contact me, because I want to push that case to the special prosecutor. And that would
just
be
this early.
The money.
You are just the advocate, so allow him.
In fact, it's something I will push.
Okay.
And that case is the issue of money stolen from the Tapamidre Free Training School.
And that thing is very dear to your heart, I know.
Very dear to my heart. Because
you
know why? Now the school is suffering. Students are going through these dilapidated structures, the congestion in the various hostels.
The heat.
And this woman, let me use the word advisedly, allegedly, has stolen lots of monies.
Allegedly, the accountant has run away.
Yes. And nobody seems perturbed. And the woman is running around. I heard, and I'm yet to prove that anyway, with any evidence, that he has accounts that are full of money according to certain checks that have been done recently. And who's going to retrieve those monies? So is he taking the money? Is he chopping the money? And
thank you very much. I mean, one of the reasons why we're having even the special prosecutor's office is some of these things. Once you have the information, you have the evidence, everything just drop in there.
Work, I want to
no, I think he has to be there before he comes.
We shouldn't. We shouldn't also forget that Frank says something that reminded me that I have to chip in this. You see, I have been on this program time without number. I've said that we have a disease as regards our resources in this country, and I've called it the paradox of the four under and sacrifice. That Ghanaians now are being asked by television advert to pay our taxes dutifully.
Sure.
But we know that in time past we have not declared all our taxes, because when it goes to the Ghana Revenue Authority, they also under supply to the executive.
Yeah.
The executive also consequently under disburse. Then when it's disbursed to the ministry, department, agencies and project contractors, they under apply. Then it comes back to us that when we see all this, the taxpayers, we also under declare. Then the vicious cycle continues. Who should bear the cut? And I have said for about 2 years now, in public interest advocacy, a little over 2 years, that the vicious cycle must be broken by the executive, by demonstrating that they are unwilling to under disburse and dip their hands into the national coffers, so that the bucket is always leaking. If they do that, they can check the ministry, department and agency. After they appointed the Ghana Revenue Authority boss, they can check. This is where it should start. OSP should help us in that direction.
But you see, at the tail end of all this, you see, we will not benefit fully from this if we don't still change our attitude. And it starts with the leader.
Yeah.
You see, I always say that our problems in Ghana, they are so minute if you compare that to the kind of resources that are available.
Okay.
If we can channel 80,000 cedis to create a website.
Is it 800,000?
Yeah, it was 800,000.
They reduced it. They said 800,000 is a floor.
So it's 80.
It's 80.
Which is still.
If you can develop a website with 80 Ghana cedis. Do you know what 80 Ghana cedis means? 80,000. That is 800 million.
Old cedis.
Old cedis. Oh. And then there's a chips compound
I'm
here.
going to Chamber Hall.
There's a chips compound on the Durban Road. It's the Rotary Club that had to come in to buy, what do you call these things they used to check BP?
Speaking manometer.
Aye.
BP apparatus.
Aye. The Rotary Club had to come in to buy that for them because the one they had was faulty. They were using a kind of scale that they used to weigh you when you take your weight and other things.
Take your height.
Do you know how they do it? It's faulty, so the guy uses his mind to calculate. So when you stand on it, then you'll be calculating with his mind that if it is here, then it should be here, then it should be there, and so your weight is this.
But Frank, let me come to you because I need to go on a break very quickly. Let me ask you this question. Should we measure our expectations of this man?
Yeah, we should be.
Because the rot in the system is so big.
That's true.
The challenge he has at hand is so large.
Sure.
We would hope that, based on his assumption, based on things that he said and written and all, we're thinking that he has a magic wand to be able to solve problems. But in all this, should we measure our expectations of him?
Dave, yes, I think you're right. But he himself knows. He knows the challenge ahead. Okay, and what we want to see is swift action from him, legitimate ones, because we know that whoever he prosecutes have the right to also get in lawyers to defend.
Definitely.
So everything, he has a period of 7 years, which he needs to do.
Guaranteed.
Yes, guaranteed. Get us something out of whatever prosecution that he is going to do, and that is what we want. So if it takes too much time for us to get results, you see the agitation.
you know why we don't get results in prosecutions? It's not like we don't have the legal acumen to do it, or we don't have the expertise. But then it's because as Ghanaians, that is how we want the system to be.
Because if people
deliberately conceal information, they help people conceal information. Because if Dr. KWARKO today, occasionally, I go to him, Dr. KWARKO, help me, then he gives me money. Okay, then the next time I find out, Charlie, Dr. KWARKO is in trouble, and they are going to.
Will you speak?
This, blah 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 blah. Will I be able,
bold and brave enough,
have the information
to
go forward and say, jail this man? Oh, this is the information. I have evidence. Go jail him.
Yes,
what an example.
No, but I have to start from my own house. So you see, the whole thing. We are at fault as well.
Our system.
That's the kind of system we have operated for a long time.
History is being made. When history is being made, it's made gradually.
Yeah.
And if you are not careful, you don't notice it. The society is changing gradually. And our democracy is changing. We should get there. You see, when we start this and we are small, and you realize that if you go do Nkwasi, nobody will come and bail you.
Yeah.
You face the music by yourself.
Yes.
Gradually. We don't have, the OSP is not a panacea. If you are asking me, we should be measured in our expectations.
Sure.
But as we do it, we should add public education for us to know that the OSP is there to do away with some of the frivolous ways that, the way investigations are conducted. I think that the OSP he should be a resource to capable lawyers who should lead the investigation. By law, it's the police that lead the investigation. It's not always that the police are lawyers or they know the law.
The police. That is why I've been saying it consistently, and I know he knows.
The OSP should be resources.
Most of them, in an attempt to even write, Doc, let me be rude to you a bit.
Yes.
In the attempt to even write statements of charges that has been presented to them.
They want something from you.
They just write something which eventually changes.
Because we know that the kind of record that you can, build will determine whether the case can be prosecuted successfully. We don't want this to happen. We don't want this to happen.
Let me say this before I even ask a question. I remember in this country there was a sports writer who wrote very, very well, very vociferous. He wrote. People were excited about things he wrote. At one point in time, he was made.
Deputy Minister of
I don't want in trouble. I'm just let me tread my road cautiously. Yeah. He was made, like Doctor said, not me, but like Doctor said, and then many of us got disappointed because the things he wrote. And when he got office, because expectations were so high, and I, for one, I was disappointed. I'm hoping and praying that I will not be disappointed in this man.
I'm also hoping with you.
I'm hoping
because he has demonstrated one thing that gives me a little more hope. He was prepared to resign and say, "Sod it, take your post, let me walk free and then exercise my distance." In a moment you are afraid of the goodies and the perks that you get, then it is difficult. But if you have a loose head, if you have there's a very independent mind who is willing to take his small, poor and proud and have a shallow pocket and preserve his dignity, you are in trouble.
Erastus has mentioned
it doesn't take one man to lead the team. I mean, he needs the backing of the whole,
all of us.
Especially the civil servant.
All this time, that if the man should fail, then we Ghanaians have made him fail.
That's the point.
Exactly.
But Erastus mentioned the case that he is prepared to push. What cases are you looking? What cases do you have in mind, hoping that he would tackle?
Yeah, I think that he's already started. Alfred Kofi Agbeshi, he should help us retrieve the money, because this money there, Lalai Napadwa.
So you'll be disappointed if he's not able to help us retrieve it.
He should fish where his properties are. Let's sell them and then retrieve them.
Considering the number of cases that we've had in this country, if we have to table all of them now,
which was interesting.
I mean, there are so many of them that we even lose count of them, especially in the past administration, which they would say is witch hunting, but we have to say it. You see, we've consistently been setting money aside to help our brothers and sisters in the north. Over the years, they have not profited. The sadder thing, the whatever, they are confirmed, whatever. I mean, Dave, they are countless. And that is where some of us, we always say that now that we are trying to develop each district by its own, because I was one person who was against this setting money again for certain communities, because we've tried that and we've been failing.
It didn't work.
You see, so if he's coming, well, he should try and help.
Any case of the MPP you'd like him to also chase?
You mean the MP current administration?
Yeah, current administration, anything.
I think you can start with the finance minister's issue.
Okay.
And the bond,
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's say he begins it. He finds things. Will the president then go and say, okay, fine, I mean, this is genuine, man. Hey, let the law take its course. We'll live to see her.
It's a difficult thing.
It's a very difficult one.
I don't know about it. Shraj has done something about the bond. Anyway, that's your opinion.
No, but you see,
but
with the Shraj thing,
I would have wanted something on the bust.
With the Shraj
thing, I would have wanted something on the bust.
With the Shraj thing on the board,
indicted it. I mean,
do you see how cleverly, whether it was the media or whether it was the Shraj itself,
twisted
how they hid that part
of conflict of interest.
Incriminate the
some of us, and you know,
they push the entire
funny enough, this morning
there's nothing wrong.
So many newspapers bringing that thing as the banner headline.
So like I said, no political party has questioned his integrity.
Well, I have my own.
No political party has questioned his integrity, and I'm holding that and putting it in my pocket. And my hands are on it.
We should also pray for God to help.
We hope to see what He would do for us.
We should also pray.
When we return, we'll talk about this Fulani herdsmen and the Agogo saga or issue, whatever. I recall last year I was seated here in the same studios, even the year before last, and I was asking the same question. I was asking Akon, he was then the minister. And you sure said, "Yeah, oh, you better resolve it." We've had, I don't know, countless number of what do you call it, RECSEC meetings. Countless number of RECSEC meetings. So when they meet, what do they discuss? We have a law, a court that has passed judgment. We cannot.
In 2012.
What are we doing? People are losing their lives.
Fulani issues 2003.
We'll be right back.
Basically, you and him interview.
We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
It's a new year, and your superstation, Love 99.5 FM and the Kumasi City Mall wants us to start on a healthy note.
Dave, I think that we dealt well with it.
It's a New Year fitness walk and health and wellness weekend at the mall. Remember, we have accumulated lots of fats and calories from the meats, drinks, the delicious delicacies we enjoyed during the festive season, and it's time to burn these calories and stay fit. So let's all converge at the mall at 6 a.m. sharp. Move through the principal streets of Kumasi and back to the mall for aerobics, free health screening by Saks Healthcare Services on Saturday and Sunday. Never miss the selfie moments, the shabre session, the networking opportunity whilst we burn calories. Come in your branded t-shirts as companies, churches, schools, Kifit, or fan clubs, families, friends, and individuals. If you want to join the walk as a company or group and you want any detail, call 0542-545947. Remember, the date is Saturday, 27th January at 6:30 a.m. from the mall and back to the mall. The fitness walk is brought to you by a Superstation, Love 99.5 FM and the Kumasi City Mall, and supported by
GT Bank.
Bank will save you from the inconvenience of running out of credit at weird moments when you need it so bad. As a Guarantee Trust Bank customer, you can send or top up credit for all networks by dialing *737# on all networks, or log on to GT Bank internet banking platform www.gtbankghana.com. To enjoy this convenience, non-customers should open an account with GT Bank. For further inquiries,